Welcome to the Allured Life podcast. My name is Katie Christ, and in 2016, I wrote down in a journal that I was going to become unapologetically my best self. And my purpose is to help women do the same, whether that's overcoming body image issues, creating next level inner confidence, or up-leveling our emotional intelligence and sense of worth. I believe that by investing in and developing who we are, we can exponentially transform the world we live in. My mission is to create power and influence in the hands of women. These are conversations for those ready to rise. This is the Allured Life podcast. Let's go all in. All right. Hello, and welcome to the Allured Life podcast. So this week's episode is going to be coming from the Elixir Masterclass. This is a masterclass that I did a couple of months ago. Not a couple, it was like over 6 months ago. I loved it. It was a really great example of what I teach and kind of what I've been taught also of these different energy types that we have as being a woman. So you have the very badass, our masculine energy, which is the badass and the archetype. Then you have our feminine energy, which is our goddess energy, which is what this episode is all talking about. Really diving into what is the goddess? Why is she important? Why is our feminine energetics important? And how the goddess represents E and L of Elixir. So Elixir is an acronym. If you want to know what the entire acronym is, go and register below for the Elixir Masterclass. You can totally do that. I reopened it actually just recently. So it wasn't open for a couple of months and I wanted to reopen it. The goddess is just this version of us, this feminine energy us. And it's not the feminine energy as in you are a woman, as in its gender. It's more so just our lean back, our really just when I tap into the feminine energetics, it's who we are being. It's us. It's us not doing anything, not having to achieve anything. It's just who we are. And that's it. And a lot of the times we have problems sitting with who we are. We have triggers, we have traumas, we have wounds, we have reactions that come up that we're not really totally proud of, or they just kind of inherently are ickiness feeling. And so that is, if you love this episode and if you really want to dive in, Allure is a new program coming out. So Allure is this entire program of really understanding the inner game, understanding what is happening on the inside, really where we understand our magnetism, where we understand our confidence, our self-worth, that we don't have to have validation, which we'll talk about in this podcast episode. We don't need validation. We have it ourselves. We can kind of elicit this power, this inner strength, because our feminine energy is so strong. She's so strong. Yet we block her quite often. We block her with the shoulds of what we should be doing. We block her honestly with what we're eating because we don't feel energized at all. We block her with the movement that we do or do not do. We block her so much. And so much of our when I talk with women, so much of the radiance that we can have, this confidence that we can have, that we all have, yet some of us struggle to really be consistent with it. That's what Allure is about. So if you want more information about Allure, there's a link below. Otherwise, let's get into the masterclass. Hey, hello. Welcome to day 3 of the Elixir Masterclass. For those, I think we don't have as many in the Zoom right now. Can you hear me okay, though? Can you let me know in the chat if you can hear me? My mic is a little bit further away right now. I wanted to create a space that was encapsulating of goddess right now. And so right now I'm in my living room, where a lot of the times this is where I have my goddess time. I have times where I'm sitting here and I'm journaling. I'm creating space for me to think and for me to dream. And I enjoy, oh, perfect. Okay. You can hear me. Yay. But I enjoy time to just be with myself. I like candles. I have flowers. I enjoy the beauty of this room specifically. I love, if you follow me on social media, I always post, not always, but sometimes, the way that the light comes in into this room. And it's just the simplest things that make us feel into our essence of who we are meant to be. And so today's conversation is going to be, we're going to be talking about goddess, and we're going to be talking about the first two letters of elixir. So I want to put a little bit of a caveat here of this conversation. When we say goddess, the first time I heard goddess, I was like, that sounds like performative. That sounds like, I didn't like because I saw a lot of women on the internet talking about their goddess version of themselves, and they'd be walking through fields with like barely any clothing on, or they'd be dancing in the middle of the day and like recording themselves dancing, or recording themselves holding crystals and meditating. And I felt like it was performative. I felt it. And it just deeply, I rejected it deeply, very much so. Because I was like, no, you mean if I just hold crystals and like dance around and run naked through the woods, then I can have success? No. I was like, no. So I want this conversation. You might have some of that when I say the term goddess, you might feel like that, but I want this conversation for you to get out of your head and into your heart of what this is, the truth for you. The truth. And that's where it's every one of us has this goddess energy, this feminine energy. And so what is the goddess? It's the divinity within you. It's the version of you that is it all. When I ask you to figure out, or ask your heart what it meant to be it all, who is her? And that when you sat, and if you actually really, really fell into it, when I asked you to do this and to understand her in a way that words could not describe her, in a way that when you said, this is what she is, or this is what I want in this life, and when you read out loud what you said, you're like, that doesn't even cover it. Because that's the goddess. The goddess she's not logical, she's intuitive. We feel her. We feel the essence of her. Her power aligns with emotion. And that's the first E in elixir, emotion. And I want us to, again, so the structure of the elixir is really tapping into, there's so many layers of what the goddess is. And these two letters, E and L, they're just going to be us playing with her. Us playing, of just kind of creating a context where instead of, because again, this conversation, you're going to be sitting here and saying, you'll have a lot of questions. You'll have a lot of questions of, well, how do I apply this to this? In what way do I add her more into my life? What we're going to say what and how a lot. Well, what does it mean when this happens? How do I do this? Shouldn't I be doing this? Like, what if this happens? What if in my life I go through this scenario? Or what if this is the experience that I'm feeling? Or I should be doing this? Or how do I add more goddess time? How do I meet the goddess? These are up in the head right now. And this is a sign that we've been living in the badass masculine energy. The badass is logical. The badass has discernment. We're tapping into our intuition in this module right now. We're tapping into this truth of who I know, you know who she is, her. And so again, the goddess it's the divinity within you. It's the one that when you're walking throughout your day and it's the best version of you. The one that's not hard to get to, but we just haven't allowed ourselves to unlock her or to meet her or to fully feel into her. Because it's when you're walking throughout your day and you do something that you're like, why did I just do that? Or if you're with a group of girlfriends or with a group of colleagues and you say something, you're like, that was awkward. Why did I say that? I feel really self-conscious about this right now. That's her coming through. Whenever we feel certain type of emotions, that is her coming through and saying, when we feel negative emotions, it's a positive intention, just saying like, hey, there's a little bit of something that we got to untangle here, Katie. And when we feel good emotions, it's like, yes, Katie, like yes, you're in alignment right now. Yes. And so again, we go away from our emotions so much, because in the realm of emotions, we lose wisdom very much. When emotions are high, intelligence is low, very low. And that is scary for us to feel like when we are emotional, that we lose all sense of what we know is a structure of how we should be acting, what we should be saying, right? Have you ever been in not even a fight with somebody, but just someone says something to you and then you just spit something right back? And you're like, I don't even know why I said that. I didn't mean that. Ryan could say something to me of like, oh, you should be like, like, let's say I spent the whole day cleaning. This whole past weekend, he was away on business, and I spent the whole entire weekend cleaning the basement, which we've just been storing things down there ever since we moved into the house, ever since we were getting married. We were just like, wedding stuff went down there, places that we didn't have, earth boxes that we didn't have places for, that all went down there. Things we were like, I don't know if we were ready to get rid of that. Just everything went down there. So I spent the entire weekend organizing this. And let's say when Ryan got back from the trip, he sees, because I've been cleaning the basement all weekend, he sees that I haven't gone grocery shopping, which we usually do on Sundays. And he came back on a Sunday afternoon. Let's say this didn't happen, by the way. But let's say like, oh, like, I thought you would have gone grocery shopping. And if that triggered an emotion out of me, because I was coming from an exhaustive place, because I was in my badass the majority of the day, I snap. I get mad. When emotions are high, intelligence is low. When I felt exhausted, burdened by just doing something like just me, and then he had the audacity to ask me if I did another thing for him. When emotions are high, intelligence is low. The thing is, though, with emotional, and this is where emotions and emotional intelligence becomes the first step in really honing in on our goddess. Because it's looking at the actual emotions that we feel every single day and asking or contemplating or allowing ourselves to feel into them to actually get an understanding of what do they mean? What specifically, what emotion am I experiencing right now? Because again, our goddess, the way that she speaks to us is through emotion, and she speaks in such beautiful tongues to us. Yet because we've closed off this part of us, this emotional intelligence aspect of us, this realm where we view emotions as power versus as seeing emotions as weakness. Because we've shut that out, our vocabulary of what these emotions are is very, very slim. Oh, how you doing? I'm good. Oh, how was your day? It was bad. Oh, how are you feeling right now? I'm tired. I'm sad. I'm mad. Frustrated. Overwhelmed. These are all emotions, right? But a lot of the times when I feel frustrated, sad, mad, like, I just feel off. And I react the same way with all of those emotions, versus if I cultivated emotional resiliency and actually was able to be resilient in my emotions and sit with my emotions and decipher my emotions, to say, okay, emotions are the language that the goddess is speaking to me right now. What do I need from this emotion? What do I need from this frustration? What is the positive intention from this frustration? What do I need from this overwhelm? What is she asking for right now? We shut this off so much because we feel like we're not supposed to. We feel like we're not supposed to fall victim to our emotions. We feel like we're not allowed to fall back on our emotions, use our emotions as quote unquote excuses. These are languages in our rhetoric right now. Oh, she's being emotional. Oh, it's just an excuse. Because we don't actually have a leadership in this world that comes from a really strong feminine stance. We don't have soft leadership out here right now. A lot of the women in our world, because it's a masculine paradigm that we are living in, we see women that are very strong and capable, but they're leading from a lot of masculine identity. And even think about the number one woman for some of you guys. I know this can be, relationships can get a little different, but at least the a woman in your life for a lot of women is the leader, is a mother. But then we view leadership from the feminine is a lot of mothering energy. A lot of mothering energy. And one of the things that I learned is that mothering energy is actually in the realm of the badass masculine energy. Because there's a difference between the mother, the version of us that creates life, that loves, that holds, the mother, versus mothering. Did you do your homework? Did you pick up your clothes, pick up the socks? Did you brush your teeth? Let me see if you brush your teeth. Okay, go to the bathroom before we're about to leave right now. Go to the bathroom. Make sure you have your things. We mother. That's mothering energy, masculine energy. And we mother our partners. Hey Ryan, did you go pick up the socks off your ground? Why? I told you we need to have a clean house. Go clean the house. Did you pick up this thing over here? Did you do this? Did you do that? We lean back into this mothering energy a lot of the times and that's the initial instinct for a lot of women too. It's just go forth in energy of doing everything. Because again, this experience of, let me read again, the goddess is the divinity within us. She's the version of us of, you were born perfect. You were born worthy, no matter what. Because truly think about, and this is, we'll kind of talk about and touch back on where we got it wrong, is a lot of the times as babies, as kids, as when we're growing up, when we're learning about the world and learning our place in the world, we got a lot of admiration for the things that we did. For the first words, we were like, oh my gosh, you can speak. Yay. Good job. For the first time, I remember it was over, I think, Christmas break. We had Ryan's niece, and she is learning how to potty train. And she had her little toilet, and it was in the middle of the living, not the middle, it was kind of the side room, but we could be in the living room and still see her. And she went number 2, and we were like, yay, good job. And she got up, she pulled up her little pants, and she was so happy with herself. We give admiration, we give praise for the things that we do, and we start to learn that throughout life, throughout our childhood. It starts with the basics. It starts with the first things that we did. Poop, eat. When we walked the first time, when we said the first word, mama. Oh my God, you're a genius. When we said our first name and we pointed to ourselves, my name is Katie. Oh my gosh, she knows who she is. Look at her. Again, when Ryan's little niece, she can take the alphabet and kind of put the words together, and she can spell out her name, and then she can spell it. I think she can spell it, or she can just recognize her nickname. And we're like, oh my gosh. And then it comes on later on in life too. Oh my gosh, you got an A in class. Hello, a quick interruption of the podcast episode. I just wanted to let you know that my new program, Allure, is officially open for enrollment. I am so excited to bring you Allure. This is truly the program that, like, if you could just break me open and look inside my heart, this is my heart for you. This is the program. I'm just so excited. It's a program that just really focuses on understanding our inner self, understanding, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, I want to be the most unapologetic version of myself. And not in a way where it's just like, this is me, this is what you get, but in a beautiful way. Allure to me means, it means being magnetic. It means being sexy. It means being confident. And just like someone that walks by you and you're like, she is different. The way that she holds herself is different. And that's this program. This program is all about just understanding what is getting in the biggest thing is what is getting in the way of you being your most confident self. Where are your blocks coming on? Where are the wounds that you've been holding on that really have been your triggers that are just kind of holding on to this old way of you being? And then the moment that something triggers this wound, triggers this trauma, this version of you comes out that feels justified, feels righteousness. Like it's like, yeah, no, I am right to say this. But in hindsight, when you look at what just actually happened, you're like, oh, I'm just here to say that there is such a better way of being you, your most unapologetic self, something that is so squeaky clean, that is so just feels light, feels airy. She's confident, she's sexy, she's magnetic. She knows how to eat and move her body the right way. She knows how to motivate herself. She knows how to elicit her own validation, her own sense of self-worth. There is no needing other people to validate her. She knows how to lead herself. She knows how to communicate her words, her thoughts, what's on the inside in a most beautiful way, where she doesn't skirt away from hard decisions. She actually confronts them, but she confronts them in a way where she knows herself first. She knows kind of where she's coming from. And then she leads those conversations. She is a leader. She is magnetic. She's someone that you want to be around because she makes you feel better. Have you ever been around somebody like that? Well, if you haven't, I want that to be you. I want you to meet your most unapologetic, alluring self. So open enrollment is right now. There'll be a link below. And if you have any questions too, I really want to open up the conversation to send me an email with all your questions. I'd be happy to answer them because this is a new program. Or let's schedule a time to talk, whatever works best for you. So, all right, that's all from me. Now back to the episode. Good job. Like, I'm so proud of you. Oh, you made the sports team. I'm so proud of you. And we start to misunderstand and this is where, again, emotional intelligence, we take that admiration, that validation of what we've done, and we take that as I'm loved. And that moves into adulthood too. That's where we keep saying, like, we keep going and doing and doing and doing, thinking that is going to give us this validation, this admiration, this love, this confidence in ourselves, this inner knowing. We search for that. We strive for that. We're hungry for that. So it was really hard for so many people within the pandemic to not have connections, to not be doing the things that they did every single day, and to feel just be by themselves. And they're like, what now? But think about when you see a baby, little baby boy, baby, like just born out of the womb. I don't know. You see a baby and you're like, I love you. Oh my gosh, you are the cutest. Let me just grab those cheeks. I love you. Ah. For some, I guess some people might just be like, not ready for kids. No. A puppy. You see a puppy, you're like, oh my God, that's the cutest thing in the world. The baby didn't do anything to receive that love. They didn't do anything. They were born worthy. You are born worthy. But across the way, we forget this. Now I have like a weird stream of light on my face. We forget this because again, this understanding of our emotions, we don't have the capacity to understand, am I looking for admiration or is this love? Is this validation or is this love? I'm gonna mess with my light to see if I can get this. Hello. Oh, we still have, that's okay. It's God coming down and be like, hi. This is where we don't have to do anything to receive the love that we want, to receive. When we say we want to have it all, and we think about, okay, what does having it all look like? Things like, I want to feel rich. I want to feel wealthy. I want to feel confident in myself. I want to be sexy. I want to experience love, experience happiness. Those are not things that you have to, when we're in the realm of the goddess. And this is why I love the 3 different types of energies, because it just makes more sense to me that we don't have to be one way 100% perfect all the time. It's we can discern and contemplate and just kind of lean back into certain types of energies. Because I'm not saying the mothering energy is, we need her. We need that mothering energy. We got to get stuff done. If you have little ones, you have to raise them. You have to like, come on, we got to get this stuff done. We got to get this stuff done. We got to get that stuff done. But the problem is we lean too much into the masculine. And when we're sitting here and when we're short-tempered with our kids, when we snap at our husbands or our partners, when we gossip about our colleagues, or when we just we just are really, when emotions are high, intelligence is low, and we just come emotionally, are our partners, are our children, are the people that we love in our life, are they getting the best version of you? No. Because we don't feel like, though the goddess is the most important element of these 3 trifectas. She's the most important, but she's the one that's easily said, nope, we don't got time for that. No. You want to just sit here in a robe and no bra on with candles and just sip on coffee? Do you see our to-do list over here? We do not have time for that. Tisk. I can't believe you're thinking like that. And what this comes from, our, as girls, being like, no, sorry guys, streak of light right here. This comes from us being taught to be nice girls, to share. Don't take too much. Nope, you don't need all that. We don't feel like we are allowed to have it all. We feel guilty. We feel like that's too good of a dream to believe in. Good girls don't need things. They don't want more than what they already have. And that's why the goddess is not a girl. She's not a nice girl. She's a great woman. And there's you can feel that. Can you feel the difference just even by saying a nice girl and a great woman? What that looks like, what that feels like. I don't think I have to, I know your power right now. I don't think I have to sit here and say, this is what a nice girl is, and this is what a great woman is. I know you can feel it. And I know you've been the nice girl. Oh, I really don't want to, but I should try to do that. And this is when we say yes, we let people cross our boundaries because we're trying to be nice. We don't want them to be disappointed in us. We don't want to ruffle any feathers. We don't want to say our piece. say what's in our heart, say the truth, because what if we get it wrong? What if someone yells at us? What if someone calls us ignorant or not knowing enough or selfish? We don't like feeling like that. So we lean back and say, I'm going to be the nice girl. And I'm going to spread, because I don't need all this time for myself. I got to share. I got to do for other people, do for other people, do for other people. Why do I get to feel amazing when I see my friend over there? She's really struggling. I got to go help her. We do this. And then we say, I'm spread so thin. I'm exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. My cup is like, there is not an ounce left in my cup right now. And the next morning we get up and we do it again. And again, this is where understanding what our emotions are telling us is everything. It's everything. It's when we're in situations and we start to feel depleted, start to feel overwhelmed, start to feel frustrated, or when we feel good, are we just kind of going through it, just saying like, just keep trudging through it? Or are we actually saying, okay, what is this telling me right now? We keep trudging through it because we're being the nice girl. Because we're afraid of disappointing people. And like I said yesterday, this fear of disappointment, that is the biggest wound within the goddess, is this fear of disappointment. Because it's this fear of, can I allow myself to feel like the what if, maybe yes, is so true? The disappointment of it not happening, we don't want to feel that. We would rather feel shame. We'd rather feel failure. We'd rather feel like we're dropping the ball on things versus being disappointed in ourselves for not being able to actually achieve it. That's where we'll self-sabotage quite often. So I want us to start to just, one, understand that our emotions is the number one indicator of whether we're in alignment or out of alignment with our goddess version of ourselves, with the energetic side of us, with her. The emotions will tell. We have an emotional guidance system, emotional intelligence. So it's sitting there and just saying, okay, do I feel good right now? What is my emotion saying? And can I expand the vocabulary of what my emotional capacity is? Can I create emotional resilience at the same time too? Can I start to feel all the different emotions of me becoming her, of stepping into her, knowing that I am her right now. I am worthy as is right now. I receive love right now as is. We can start that right now. Because I want you to think about too, of we think we have to do to receive. We think I have to do something to have self-confidence. We think I have to do something to receive worth, that I have to do something to receive whatever. When we look at what it all means, I bet you went straight into, okay, what do I have to do that? Get that? What do I have to do? And in this conversation, I wanted to start off with the goddess first, because I want you to know right now, you do not have to do anything to experience her, to be her, to become her at all. You belong right now. Because right now, and this is the simplicity of it all. It's we're going to do these. I want you to have it all right now, and then know that you can have more. I really do. I want you to know you can have it all and know that you can have more too. Because that's a great woman. Because right now, what are the qualities? What are the emotions that you are you said that you experienced, or that you feel when you thought about what her is? What the version of you that is it all, has it all, and does it all? What are those things that you want? I want to feel she's rich. Okay. What are the things in your life right now that make you feel rich? List them off. You know, we could not be able to connect what rich feels like if we haven't experienced it right now. We wouldn't be able to connect it. You want happiness. Okay, what are the things that make you feel happy now? What are those? I want you to write these out. Get really specific. Create a list. You say the version of you that is it all, has it all, does it all. She's happy. You've experienced happy. You know what that feels like. What are the things in your life right now make you feel happy? She's confident. What are the things that make you feel confident right now? We can be it all, have it all, do it all right this moment, right after this call, by just remembering that we are her right now. We can experience it. We can elicit, we can bring up that emotion right now by slowing down and just looking at our life as is and seeing it all now. Because we've heard the stories of men and women and individuals who keep going. They're like, I thought that when I made this amount of money, I'd be happy. I thought that if I'd lose about this amount of weight, I'd feel so confident in myself. We've heard those. How many times have we seen, I think it's like a Dove commercial I think it was a Dove commercial or some campaign who talked about it. They had a model on, or maybe it might've been a podcast. There was a model that came on and she was talking about, I thought I had to be skinny. I was in like the smallest body type and I still felt self-conscious. We've heard those stories time and time again. We've heard about the women that have strove for their careers, and once they have reached the peak of their career, they're like, but it's not it. So it's not about attaining it. It's about sitting here and actually feeling the emotions of what it all feels like now. Because a lot of people, when they talk about emotions and they talk about, have you guys ever heard the term like becoming an energetic match for what you desire? I know this was a little bit of a new thought process, and it's in kind of the realm of manifestation and the law of attraction. And they brought up this term, becoming an energetic match for what you desire. And it's basically just really you feel there's an energy to you that attracts what you want. And this concept is really hard for me to think about and to understand, because it's the law of attraction. I can just think what I want and it'll just come like a magnet. It'll just boop, slap me in the face. Like it felt off until I was contemplating it. And when I was contemplating kind of how I wanted the process of this masterclass to go, I was playing with, okay, I really want like E to be something. So like emotion, and the next level up version I came up with or felt into was your edge. What is our edge? And I first was thinking of it as like when we were talking about becoming extraordinary, becoming unconventional, becoming it all. I was like, oh, like you have the edge. You have like the it factor, the edge. But it didn't sit well with me. I was like, there's a little bit something more to that. And it elicited another. I had an experience a couple of weeks ago where we were driving back we were in Iowa for Ryan's niece's 3-year-old birth. His niece's 3-year birth. Why am I struggling? 3, whatever. She turned 3. And we're driving back, and we park in our parking. Now I'm jumbling all words. We park in our driveway. And we brought, Cabby was staying with my parents. So we drove back from Iowa. We went and picked up Cabby, and then we came and we parked in our driveway. And we have Cabby on an invisible fence, which best investment ever. But when we got there, she wasn't wearing her invisible fence collar that gives her a little loving zzz if she goes across the boundary. And we came up and we were in the driveway where we're kind of close to where she knows her boundary is. We were far enough where she could have gotten out and she would have been fine. She would have felt like she was still in the yard. I made the mistake of, we parked in the driveway. There was a car, I was on the side of where I'd have to walk around the car, and I let her out on my side. And when you walk around, she gets a little bit further than where her line is. So mistake was on me. So we do that. I thought she'd just kind of go in. Ryan was up there. I think she likes to stay with us. She loves us. We're the best. But there was a couple walking in front of our house, kind of in between where if our front area, and we don't have sidewalks. So it's like the road, our house, they would be like right in front of the driveway of our next door neighbors. They're right there. And Cabby loves people. She always is like, anytime I take her for a walk, she lays down on the ground until the people come up to her, and I can't get her away. She's like, I gotta say hi to my people. So she saw these people. She saw that she was on the other side of her wall. She was like, oh, cool, I'm allowed to be here. And went straight up to this people. And it was a man and a woman. And the guy got in front of the woman and was very much just like, and I was like, Cabby, come. Not very quick on my feet. And she was kind of jumping up on them. And I finally grabbed her, got her, walked away. And when I was walking away, the guy goes, she needs to be on a leash. When emotions are high, intelligence are low. I got so angry. Now, I didn't say anything, but I gave a look. And then for the next 3-4 hours, radiating. I told Ryan, I'm like, I don't know why I'm so annoyed by the fact that this man said something to me. I'm like, you have a little white, cute little dog with a pink collar just coming up to you. She's not going to do anything. When emotions are high, intelligence is low. The intelligence of seeing people for their power, seeing people for the good of them, seeing people for the weight that they carry. I don't know. It was my fault. It was my fault. They were in a scary situation. They didn't know Cabby. It was my fault. But in my head, I was like, what? The fact, who, I couldn't even express words, because when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And so I was thinking about this when I was contemplating this masterclass, and I was really disappointed with myself of allowing myself to get into this headspace where for 4 hours I was so annoyed. Ryan and I ended up, there's a graveyard near our house, and we love walking through it, and we like to think about the dash, and it puts it all into perspective for us. And so I told him, I was like, I don't know why I just got so mad, so angry, so annoyed by someone feeling like they had the audacity to tell me what to do. And this is where it's, when we don't lean back into understanding what our emotions are telling us, what we do is we take our emotions and we try to make them into logical thoughts. But our goddess version of ourselves, she just lives in the emotion, in the thoughts, in the intuition. The logical thought, that's the masculine energy coming through. So the logical thought, I was trying to protect my little heart. I was like, he was just like it's his fault. How, like, he can't, it's obviously it's in front of our yard. Like, it's not like we like set this person, it's not like we were walking through, we weren't doing anything bad. She just got out of our yard. Logical head. And so I kept thinking about this and thinking about this and thinking about this, and came into the thought of edge. The edges, our emotional edges. That's the energetic match. To think of the scenarios in our lives. And I wrote a social media post about how our life is made up of puzzle pieces, of what we're trying to kind of take things, and we see people doing things a certain way. We see something that we're like, oh, you have that, I want that. Okay, let me kind of take that and take your puzzle piece and let me put it into my puzzle. And sometimes we jam it in there. We're like, and then there's cracks that seep through. And the cracks that seep through are frustration because it's not a perfect match. And I want to expand on this too, of just, okay, right now, I have that puzzle piece that got so angry with that man. So there's a version of me that has a puzzle that fits perfectly with frustration and anger and like feeling pissed off when someone tells me what to do. That's my emotion, my edge fits into a piece, a puzzle that allows for myself to be angry and mad. And that's where angry and mad and frustrated, the emotional edge, what is it connecting to? Because again, it started with man told Katie, get your dog on a leash. The emotional edge on this little piece of my puzzle of my life, this emotional edge, anger, frustration, and it matched up to something else where I felt it in when I was unpacking. So my puzzle piece right here. This is where it made sense to me, where it's like we are attracting in, we're a puzzle piece. What is our edge? Our edge is a match towards other puzzle pieces. And this is where we get into that compound effect. Versus the emotional intelligence aspect of the goddess. The emotional resilience is this: you were handed this puzzle piece with this emotional edge on it. The beautiful thing about the goddess is that she can change the emotional edges on it by sitting in those emotions, by not allowing them to mean a certain thing, by actually understanding the language of what that emotion is saying. For me, it's understanding that emotional edge, that trigger that happened, that is a motherhood wound, which I'm not going to go into here, but it's a wound of I get triggered, I get defensive when someone tells me what to do. This is where we go away from the goddess, because it seems like it's hard work, but in reality, it's me just allowing space for me to actually feel the emotions and not allowing them to connect, where then I'm just like, I'm just an angry person, or I don't understand why I'm just angry all the time. I don't understand why I'm stressed out all the time. I don't understand. The goddess helps you understand, not by thought, not by saying, and this is where this is different than therapy work. This is, what's going on. Like, when you're on and when you're acting in alignment with her, and when you're off. But the fear of disappointment, we don't want to say, yeah, I disappointed you, Katie. Like, I didn't. And to actually come away with extracting the lesson of why that little puzzle piece matched up. And instead of just saying, like, extract the lesson, so then we can form this puzzle piece to be perfectly how the goddess wants it to be. Again, I know this is a up here kind of conversation, but I know that this is going to land for wherever it needs to land for you. And this is where I want to go into the next EL, because a lot of this stuff, it's gonna feel heavy. It's gonna feel, but it's not. This type of work actually gets to be really dang fun. And again, I think I spoke about this, but I had a client who talked about like, oh my gosh, this is like magic, Katie. Like, I love this. This is so fun. And then duality hits. And in order to handle the duality, which I feel like I've kind of been talking a lot about the duality aspect of like feeling the pain, feeling the frustration, feeling the overwhelm. But in the realm of duality, I like to think about what the L stands for, and that's legacy. We are sitting here, we're having a conversation of being, doing, and having it all. And in that is, I want you again, right now, know you have it all right now, because you can experience it all right now. You can say, what in my life right now do I feel rich, wealthy, confident, sexy, loving, happy, exuberant, magnetic? Any word that you describe of having it all, that those feelings associated, you can feel it all. And I want you to have it all, and I want you to have more of it all. And in that is where we create our legacy. So our legacy is what we're leaving behind here. Who are we becoming? Who? And it comes with, who are you being? Because during this process, again, I want you to know you have it all, and you can strive for it all moving forward as well too. And when we're striving for more of it all and reaching for new levels, new devils. And with that is this thought process of, what is the legacy that I'm creating right now? What is the story that I want people to be talking about as I'm going through this journey? In hindsight, how do I want to be thinking? How do I want to read my story? What do I want the tales to be talked about the way that I responded to difficulties, to hardships, when I felt like I was feeling the what if, maybe no? What's the story do I want to be telling in hindsight? Because we're building our legacy right now. And I love the term legacy. It feels grand. It feels big. It feels bigger than it feels bigger than me right now, but it also is me. That's what legacy feels like. It's bigger than who I am now, and it is me at the same time too. My legacy. Think about individuals that you admire right now that have a legacy, are in the process of building a legacy. We have individuals that have done amazing things. Oprah Winfrey, she has a legacy. Princess Diana, legacy. Meghan Markle, legacy. I'm reading the Spare by Prince Harry, so that's why that was where in the Walt Disney, legacy. Elvis, legacy. Marilyn Monroe, legacy. They all have a legacy. And yes, within that legacy, you have benchmarks of what they've done, what they've accomplished. But for them to do those things, it was because of who they were, who they are. Oprah, her legacy is by the networks that she's built, the Oprah show, the talk show, the interviews that she has, the way that she talks and connects with people. She's done those things, but it's because of who she is. And it's because of the legacy and the story. We get so inspired by the story, right? We get so inspired by the legacy that she has left behind from the beginning to the middle to the end. And we see that story of how she was told no. She shouldn't even be on radio, I believe. For sure, someone said she could not be on TV. She was told no. We get so inspired by those. Meryl Streep, she has a legacy. She has so many beautiful, incredible movies out there that she's done. but they've landed with us because of who she is and the legacy of how she got there. And knowing that she was told no and no and no and no, and that she was ugly time and time and time again. But who she was then in this, like, she decided and she held on to the belief of maybe yes. We get inspired by these stories. Let me give another one. Walt Disney. Walt Disney, I don't know if you guys knew that. I just recently figured this out like a year ago. When he had the idea for Disneyland, he went to the bank 30 separate times for a loan. 30 separate times. That's him getting up for work, putting a suit tie on, grabbing his briefcase, giving his wife a kiss goodbye, heading over to the bank. No. Giving his pitch? No, that's one time. Okay, next time, get up, put his suit on, give his wife a kiss, grab his suitcase, go, give his pitch. No. Get up, put a suit and tie on, give a kiss to his wife. His wife's like, are you sure you, like, okay, I still believe in you. Okay, do it again. Kiss, give the speech. No. 3. I've only gotten to 3 right now. Okay, get up, put a suit and tie on, give his wife a kiss, get out, give a spiel. No. Get up, 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 no. I'm going to do it. Get up, no. 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 Yes. I couldn't even go through, like, I did 3 times and I was going over my words of the whole process of doing it again, doing it again, doing it again. No, 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 no. Who is that does that? It's the man that tapped into, built up emotional resiliency. Because who is the version that has to keep believing in the what if, maybe, yes? Has to face his wife every single day and give her a kiss on the cheek. And she's probably like, after the 10 times, I would have been like, sure, we still want to be doing this? But the version of him that held that belief, that created that emotional resiliency to just keep going, keep going, keep going, knowing that you're going to be okay. That's the version of him that created Disneyland. And he needed that resiliency to then go to the next stage, the next level. So this is just, again, building our legacy. I want you to walk away from this experiencing and tapping into your goddess, the one that feels and knows what is true to your heart, so that when you have the truth in your heart, when you create the boundaries and the standards of your life, because in actuality, the goddess, the feminine energy, she's the one that creates boundaries and standards in our lives. We think the badass does. We think the badass is the one that's like, someone crossed their boundaries and then we're like, you crossed the boundary. We think that is, but actually the goddess is the one that creates the boundaries. The badass is the one that just enforces the boundaries. I want you to understand that and know that and start to tap into what is your truth from the goddess. She's the one that powers the ship. She's it. She is the one. She's it all. Because you have it all. And then walking for getting it all more, having it all, expanding on it all, expanding on it, expanding on it, expanding on it, getting it all, experiencing life for everything that life can actually, what we can all have. Because we can have it all, be it all, do it all. Because we're no longer the nice girl that feels like, I'm not worthy enough to have that. You were born worthy, nothing has changed. And through that, we build our legacy. So that's what I want you to think about and contemplate today. Is I want you to think about, I want you to be intuitive right now. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Go someplace today that makes you feel like it all. Go someplace that makes you feel beautiful, feel luxurious, light some candles, buy yourself some flowers, go to a beautiful coffee shop, get yourself a beautiful cocktail, go to a hotel lobby where everything just looks beautiful. Get outside, depending on the weather, get outside, or just like let the rain pour over your face, or the shower. Just go somewhere that makes you feel into it all. The emotions, elicit those emotions, bring them out. And then don't think about, just feel into, who is she? What is she telling me? This is the work that is beautiful and amazing and fun. But it's the work that we're a little bit scared to do sometimes too, because it feels like it's not going to make a difference. But I want to tell you right now, this makes everything changes from here, moving on forward. Because when we come from a place of really knowing who our goddess is, when we're allowing ourselves to actually create space for her, then the two other energies, the badass becomes badass and the boss becomes boss. We can't do half. We can't half-ass any of these. When you half-ass one energy, you half-ass the other ones, truly. Because they try to overcompensate then. And when we're like, then we're out of balance and we feel like I just don't know myself. I want to do it and I'm trying to do it, but I feel like I just don't do it, the things that I say that I want to be doing. We have to go all in. I want you to feel like you can go all in on this, on the goddess, of meeting her. Go about the next week. Just challenge yourself, or just the next day. Let's keep it real simple, real small, and within this container of the masterclass. The next day, what are your emotions throughout the day? Just check in. Just be curious. What are your emotions? And try to find different words for them as well, too. Expand our language so we can fluidly talk with the goddess a little bit more. And then also think about her, it all, and write down what are the things that in your life right now you feel like you are it all. You feel like you have it all. You are it all. You feel luxurious. You feel beautiful. You feel kind. What are the things? And add them into your day. Because again, the emotional edge, we're eliciting the emotions, and that's when we put our puzzle piece in and we attract. The only puzzle piece that can fit with happiness is another happiness puzzle piece, or something that is on kind of the frequency of happiness. Gratitude. So people talk about gratitude as such a strong emotion, such a strong feeling to elicit, because it's a very neutral. Gratitude. What am I grateful for? You're like, I'm not overly happy about this, but I'm also not like really mad about this either. Just I'm grateful for it. I'm good. I'm neutral. Neutral with a little bit of neutral with like a spike of something in it. Gratitude. That's why gratitude is so important, because it allows us to see the things in our day that if they were gone, we would actually be heartbroken. There's a quote. Give me one moment. The little things in your life are magical beyond belief, because they're the things that would break your heart the most if they didn't happen. You have it all. List out the things that would break your heart if you didn't have them anymore in your life. right now. You have it all. Because I bet you could take those things, and if you just focused on those, you would be happy. You would be happy. If your day was filled with those, you would be happy. Isn't that what we want? But again, we are living in a paradigm where if we're not doing something, if we're not achieving something, we feel like we're not allowed to sit back and say, I'm worth relaxing right now. Again, that's a very badass thing. We're like, I got to get the to-do list done. I got to get something done before I feel like I'm able to relax. I didn't do anything today. I got to do something today. I didn't do anything. And that's beautiful energy. It's again, I want our badass to be badass. But we dismiss the goddess energy because of the badass energy a lot. We feel like we're not worthy enough to receive her, to experience her, but we are. It's just, are you brave enough to allow it in? And once we're brave enough to meet her, to experience her, to create space for her to come through, that's when you start building your legacy. So I want you to think about that as well too. If you are brave enough to experience your goddess every day, what legacy would you create in this world? What is the legacy that you want to create in this world, that you desire to create in this world? What is the legacy? That's your goddess speaking to you. When you can discern that. And then when we know where we're going, because she's driving the ship, she knows exactly what you're meant for. Knowing that at the same time too, you are worthy just as is. That's when it becomes magical. That's when it becomes fun. So guys, that's your homework for today. Do something that makes you feel into your goddess today. Experience her. Be brave enough to say, I do not have to do anything to experience love right now. I can do it now. I can experience her now. Be brave enough to do that. That's the unconventional thing. That's the ordinary thing is for us to go, do, and try to grab validation and admiration from other people. And that's where we say our confidence comes from. That's an ordinary thing to do. That's what everybody is doing. The extraordinary thing to do is to say, I don't have to do anything and I feel love right now. I'm worthy. Listen to wrap this all in. I was getting into the context of the goddess with my playlist, and there's a Beyonce song that I want you to just listen to. Listen to the beat, listen to the emotions, and listen to the words of this song. I Was Here by Beyonce. Listen to that, contemplate what that song means for you, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye guys. Hey there. Thank you so much for listening. My goal is to help as many women listening, and if this episode supported you in any way, the very best way to show your appreciation is by simply screenshotting this episode and sharing on your social media or with your friends. Or even better, drop a review on whatever platform you are listening on. Don't forget, if you are looking for any additional support, you can always reach me on Instagram at Katie Christ. See you back here next week.